Okay, welcome everybody.
Welcome. Hello.
Thanks for coming. All right, so today you can pass out these along the side. That's probably too many, but that's okay. We're going to learn about how to make your own workouts. Yay. If anybody needs a pen, let me know. I've got a bunch of pens up here. But so what we're going to do today is kind of go through if you've been to my classes, what I do in class, if you've done any of our videos online, what we do online, and it's a lot like a lot of resources you can find about how do I work out on my own. Oh, that is mixed in there. Okay, that's a resource for me. So this is what we're going to do. You was already squatting. That's great. We already got that done. That was awesome. Good demo. That was a good demo. Okay, so this topic is talking about high intensity interval training. And before we get into that, I just want to kind of explain a little bit. High intensity interval training does not mean that you're going to be doing some boot camp type flipping of tires and having, crazy push-ups with a clap and doing running sprints. It doesn't need to be high intensity from that standpoint. I think a lot of us in our minds have stereotypes of what high intensity or what exercise looks like, right? Where we might have an idea where we're like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's not what I do. I don't like doing that kind of exercise. Basically, all high intensity interval training means is that for, let's say, a minute, a section of that minute, maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's 40 seconds, is going to be hard. You're going to be hard at work, okay? And you're going to be working as hard as you can. And then there's a rest. And then you move on to the next thing. So it's different than maybe other traditional workouts have been. You go to the gym or a fitness center and you're on a machine for about a half hour. And then, you're kind of on your treadmill, your elliptical or rower, whatever your cardio machine is, and you do that for about a half hour. Then you go around to some exercise equipment pieces and move around the machines a little bit, do some weights, and then maybe you go to the floor and either do some abs or some stretching or something. And people are like, I go to the gym, I've been going there for years, I work out for probably about an hour and nothing changes, and they're frustrated, okay? And the idea is that, yes, none of that is bad to do. I will never knock that and say you shouldn't be doing that. No, you should be doing that because it is activity, and it's great to have activity. The more we move, the better off we are. But if you're stuck and you've kind of plateaued out on your workout, there's a way to say, well, I can change a little bit of that, and that's mixing in this high intensity interval training. So the idea is that it's very efficient. You can do a total body workout, including cardio and strength training, in a half hour or less, including your warm-up and your stretch. Well, that sounds like something you could probably fit into your day, right? You guys can find 20 minutes to do something like that, yeah? So people who tell me that they go to the gym for an hour, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you guys find the time? I wouldn't have time to do that. When I road cycle, I plan it in my day planner so I can road cycle, because it's something that takes longer than an hour. It's hard in our busy lives to fit something like that in. So I don't expect people to be able to do that. So this is why I wanted to teach you how to do this. And it's workouts that you can do anywhere on the planet. So it's kind of excuse busting. Okay, you don't really have excuses. So let's walk through it a little bit. So they talk about HIIT training. It's kind of emerged in the last decade. It's a type of cardiovascular exercise that's helpful for burning fat, building strength, enhancing endurance, and improving your glucose metabolism, the way you burn your energy, your sugar. So it's an essential tool for personal trainers, but people are really taking it on themselves. So as it implies, it's short bursts of high intensity movement, okay? So it's just, the movement is, okay, I'm doing this for 40 seconds. How much can I push myself, whatever I'm doing during that 40 seconds? It doesn't matter if you're doing something that's super advanced or super, beginner. It doesn't matter. It's just, am I doing as much as I can while I'm on my work part, okay? So if you look down to the build your own workout part, it's saying if you're just getting into fitness or you're starting after an injury, maybe you've got arthritis, maybe you've got a back condition or a joint problem. The key to success in this lies in doing the moves correctly and at your own pace. So we're not looking for people to get injured and saying, gosh, I was pushing so hard for that 40 seconds. Are you doing it right? Are you doing it safely? That's what we're saying, okay? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take an inventory of the equipment you have around you. So look at number 1. Take equipment of the inventory you have to use around you, okay? So maybe you're at home, maybe you're at the gym or fitness center, maybe you're outdoors, maybe you're on vacation. I don't know where you are. Look around. What do you got? Is there a yoga mat or a place to, use the floor? Do you have any hand weights, resistance bands? Is there a bench? That's why I go to parks a lot and I use like benches or picnic tables. Maybe you're indoors or outdoors. Do you have a chair? I would highlight a sturdy chair, okay? Not every chair works, okay? Don't go home and break your necks and say, Sarah told me to step on a chair, okay? A sturdy chair. An exercise ball, medicine ball, kettlebell, monkey bars, going to playgrounds and using monkey bars, doing different things off of playground equipment. Picnic tables, maybe you guys have exercise equipment at home or stuff that we have on site or a gym that you go to. Look around and take an inventory of what can you play with, okay? Maybe you have nothing at all, and that's fine too. A lot of these exercises you can do with absolutely zero equipment, but just the earth. So using exercise examples, which we'll go through on the back, or coming up with some of your own favorites, things that you know you can do. Maybe you're like, I know I'm limited to just this or that. That's fine. You work within your limitations, and you put together a mix of cardio and strength exercises. And they're going to be really efficient in a couple of minutes, and you go through it a couple times, and you're done. Okay? You can use an interval timer. I have my Gym Boss timer that a lot of you are familiar with at class. It just has an interval bit. I clip it to my clothes. I like having the handheld one versus my phone because I can clip it to my clothes and it has a vibrating function. So if I'm out running and listening to my headphones, it'll just vibrate and then I don't have to listen to the beep through my headphones. But there's tons of apps that work really well for that. One is Gym Boss has an app, which I've written on there for you. Otherwise, there is a HIIT interval training timer. And the HIIT interval training timer app, I think there's a voice that says, go or rest. And so you don't even need to listen for beeps. It'll just be someone telling you go or rest. Just like if you were in my class, right? Just like that. Yeah, except I yell sometimes a little bit more than that. I'm not usually like, go. So that's how you're going to do it. So if you look at that on number 3, it says beginner. Maybe you're only doing 30 seconds of work and 30-second rest. That's great, but that's your minute. Maybe if it's intermediate, 40-20. Advanced, we like to work with 50-10. There's other variations, like Tabata is 20-10 and you do it 8 times through, so that's a 4-minute workout. So there's different things like that. You can play with the timing and see what you like and what works for you at your level of fitness. So this is the first example. Talk about maybe you are in your basement and you're like, oh, I can go up and down the stairs for 50 seconds. Great. You just go up and down as safely as you can. Maybe you have no stairs, you can step up or down on something, you can jog in place, you can do modified jumping jacks or regular jumping jacks. Then it says let's do some squats. You can do some controlled squats, we'll go over that in a second. Push-ups, stairs again, some lunges, some tricep dips, stairs again, and finishes with 3 different things for your core, with your back and your abs. So it's not like it's anything that's, you need a personal trainer for. None of this needs equipment, none of it, okay? You can do any of this just standing in a place on a piece of floor or outside. It's just that simple. You just have to have the timer, okay? You can count too, you can count reps. So let's turn it over and let's look at the back. All right, so here's the fun part. You guys are gonna come on the other side of the table and we're gonna try some stuff. So come on up. We're gonna be on the inside circle. Come on in. We're doing this. Everyone's like, I did not sign up to exercise. I did. Did you? All right. Do you guys want to be, you want me closer to the camera? Okay, I'll be closer to the camera. Why don't you guys make some room in here a little bit? All right, so what we're going to do first is squats, all right? So for squats, I want you to have your feet shoulder width apart, toes are pointed forward. Try to avoid this kind of little stance. I mean, there are squats that you go wide and out, but we kind of want to have it like this, okay? And come away from the table a little bit. You're going to have to be a little closer because your butt's going backwards. All right, so the way I explain squats is this. If you have knee problems, stop yourself before you really hurt yourself, but maybe your knees are at least okay to sit in a chair and stand back up, then you're okay to do this. This is the way I teach it. I know that all of us probably at some times in our life have gone to the bathroom outside, okay? And when you go to the bathroom outside, you can't get it on your shoes, right? And when I tell people to squat, usually the first thing they do is they send their knees out like this. And I'm like, well, now it's all over your shoes. Okay? So.
Is that from experience, or?
Yeah. You know. Even the camper, you know. All right, so what I want you to do is put your weight in your heels, okay? And so your toes are kind of up at the top of your shoes a little bit, so there's no weight in the front of your foot, it's on the back. And instead of thinking about your knees, I want you to think about sitting in an imaginary chair behind you. So you put your butt back first, and then you push in through those heels to stand back up. Does that feel a little bit different than maybe a squat you've done in the past? Maybe? Try it again. So put the butt back first, and then very gently squeeze forward. Okay. Now look down, and you don't have to have your feet like so far up, but at least just not the weight is more in the front of your foot. So now when you look at your knees when you go down, make sure that your knees aren't tracking forward. Make sure that your butt is going behind you. And then stand back up. Okay, does that feel pretty good? You guys get that? Okay, so we're gonna try another thing. Don't get mad. We're not doing burpees. We're gonna do a proper push-up. Okay, so proper push-up. I'm gonna move forward in the room so the camera can see, and then we're all gonna try it. And we might need to try it in intervals because we're a little tight. But when you do push-ups, a lot of times I see, this is modified, a lot of times I see this bow. Right? Has anyone seen people do push-ups like that where they just kind of bow and they put their head down? While that does work some muscle groups, it's not a proper push-up, okay? So when we do a push-up, you're going to drop your hips to the floor because you want your back and your head and your spine all in alignment, okay? And then what you want to do is bend your, the only thing that's really bending is your elbows, okay? So we're going to bring your belly button to the floor, your chest to the floor. So I'm looking out, okay? So this is incorrect. See how my hips just go forward? And then you just bring your chest towards the floor. Now you don't have to go this low, all right? You don't have to do that. But as long as you bend your elbows and come back up, and those are the only things that are moving, that's a proper push-up. Okay, so regular push-up, down and up. Okay? So, if you feel so inclined, please try to do a push-up. And if modified or regular is too hard, you can do it against the wall too. That looks great. That looks great. Good looking push up. See? And if you feel like your back is arching, yeah, just do a modified one. You don't have to do a full one. Nice job, yeah. All right.
I saw that push up.
Okay. But do you see the difference of not doing them with your butt in the air, and that makes a difference? Push-ups are kind of, that's for arms. Push-ups are the one exercise that works your core, it works your chest, it works your back, your shoulders, your butt, because you should be squeezing your butt a little bit, your legs, it's working everything, so it's a total body. The last one we're going to do is a plank, okay, a proper plank. So with a proper plank, and some of you are like, I got this, plank. All right, planks, this is a full plank, this is a regular plank, okay, versus this, I kind of like to do Sphinx arms, okay? The idea with plank is that you want either your wrist or your elbow directly under your shoulder, okay? We get in this trouble where people are doing this, all right? Or they get here and they're kind of like this, all right? So if you feel yourself doing that, just go to modified. Nothing is wrong with this. This is perfectly fine until you can graduate to your toes, okay, without putting your butt in there. So just like the push-up, the hips are low, and you're kind of just keeping your butt in line with your spine. Okay, so let's give that a try if you've got some room. Good, yeah, good. I was just going to say, just bring your hips. Good. Looks good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm going to keep that head straight. Good. Awesome. Come on up. Yeah, so it's not, and I like to say I keep my gaze just a couple feet in front of my hands because then I'm not looking at my feet. All right, you guys can sit down. Your job's done. Yay! This was great at 7:30 in the morning to get everybody's blood going. Okay, so those are some basic things. Now, you might have noticed, now I've trapped you. No one can tell me they can't do push-ups, planks, or squats. So you guys just fell for that one. All right, so on your sheet there's examples of all this. Once you can do those basic moves, you can do any of these workouts because they are very, very basic. It's nothing that is too crazy. Their names might be weird to you. So like I put a couple of examples because I wanted to show you guys that when I was preparing this, all I did was go to Google Images and wrote in burpee exercise. And you'll get pictures of what it is. So if you see something and you're like, glute kickbacks, people call them different things. Go on there and look at it. If the still picture doesn't help you, go to YouTube and Google it and watch a short video of it, okay? There's a lot of things that people, like, I'll put workouts up in the Lean conference room and people will be like, what's inchworm push-ups again? And I'm like, okay, you go down on your hands, you do a push-up, you come back in. But they'll show you how to do it online, okay? So I just gave a couple of examples of things that we do frequently, but obviously you can look for other resources. Pinterest has got a lot of really great HIIT workouts. If you go on Pinterest, and guys, you can go on Pinterest, okay? Or if your wife has an account, just go ahead and log into hers and she'll be like, what are you looking up? And look up HIIT training. I send links for people all the time for that. It's a really great resource because they have nicely put together workouts that are all set and ready to go. Okay, so it's kind of fun if you're getting bored with how you're combining them. So these are just some examples. I want to give you a couple from each, from the cardio, legs, arms, abs, okay? So, and we'll look at how you're going to put that together in a minute. I also wanted to have the workout number 2, the cards. You guys know in class we've done cards, right? And it's kind of fun. This is a really fun one to do with kids, right? Because you've done this, yeah. Where you assign an exercise to each suit, and then that's how many you do of that. And then usually I save my cardio for the face cards, and then whatever we're doing for the face cards, and it's really fun. I did this once this summer with some kids, and we were like running around, and it was exhausting. I decided maybe my face cards were a little too much, but it can be really fun. So you just make up, and if you don't want to make up your own, I put some YouTube links on there. So when you go on YouTube, this was actually recently shown to me, Body Project, and it's a British group, so if you like a British accent, this one's for you. But it's really good. I love their videos. They have low impact, they have high impact, they have all different sorts of stuff. Someone in the early class today said they did it this week, and she loved it. And they didn't have any equipment to use. She just did it in her basement, and it was that easy. And it was just really fun. Jessica Smith is another one. She's got dancing and all different sorts of stuff too. She's pretty cool. We have our SiriTube with my low quality videos on there for you guys to check out where this video's going. Or just YouTube yoga and Pilates videos. There's a lot of really awesome resources. So if you're like, I don't, some of these things I can't do because of a health, situation I have. Also for yoga, if you want to write it down, I always suggest doyogawithme.com. That's one that I use if I do yoga. Just all one word, doyogawithme.com. And they have free yoga classes up in the left-hand corner when you click on yoga classes. And then I just wanted to add a couple websites for family workouts, and some websites that have some really good ideas if you're working out with kids, or you got the grandkids for the weekend, stuff that you can do. Because I think it's pretty easy to say, oh, with my family, I don't have time to work out and things like that. And depending on how old the kids are that you're with, they can work out right along with you. So plenty of things to do there. So on the back this is your template for workouts. This is what I use for all my workouts. So it's up to you if you want to write on it now or not, or if you want to photocopy it and keep reusing it. But basically what you would do is at the top you decide how many seconds are you resting, how many seconds are you working. Am I doing 10 seconds of rest, 50 of work, 40, 20, whatever you want to do. And then how many times am I going to do this? Well, this is 10 exercises. Do I have time for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 if you're really feeling into it, okay? And then you say how many times through. And then I've just kind of given an example. Cardio, so you would pick something cardio. Maybe you're doing, jump rope. Look at how good I am at jump roping with no rope, okay? It's really easy. You don't need a jump rope, okay? You just pretend. Strength training, maybe do a squat. Cardio, maybe do that jump rope again, or some jumping jacks, or go up and down your stairs. Strength, let's get some arms in and do some push-ups now that you guys can all do push-ups. Okay, and you just go back and forth and fill that in. At the end, make sure you get some cardio and abs, or get some really good core or back or something like that, so you still get that core. Another thing, if you notice, when you're doing these exercises, they're functional. What's the difference between sitting at a machine and doing bicep curls like this, and me maybe standing either on 2 feet or one foot and doing bicep curls like this with weights? What's the difference? Balance. Using more core, right? So you're balancing your core. Once you're standing, you're working against gravity, right? So now other muscle groups have to be included. So now my legs are working, my core is working, my back's working, my chest, I gotta stay nice and tall, good posture. Okay, so once you are doing something where you're freestanding with free weights or resistance or something like that, or just your own body weight, you're gonna use a lot more muscle groups. And when you use more muscle groups, you're gonna be more efficient, okay? That's why how we can get a 10-minute total body workout in, okay? So that's why kind of the fitness industry is leaning towards more functional training. Plus, it's not only about looking good and feeling right, it's also about, as we age, don't we want to avoid falls, and we want to have stronger bones, and we want to have better balance, okay? I know that weight loss is everyone's thing, but what about just feeling really good? Or maybe there's a sport you like to take part in, right? All the sports that you guys like to do, or things with family that you're like, gosh, I wish I could still do that and keep up with them, or do that. This is how you can do that because you're stronger, you know? Or you guys know I love to hike. I love to hike. Well, I got to be able to be on some different terrain and go up inclines and do stuff like that. I can't just do that by not getting my heart rate up and trying different things and having a strong core so I am safe. And a lot of times when I'm doing one-legged things, now my ankles and my knees and my hips are a little stronger, so I'm not going to injure myself on a slip or a rocky surface, okay? So that's the function of functional training, is that we're keeping ourselves safe and able to do other things outside of whatever we're doing during that workout, okay? Is there any questions on any of this, or any ideas or things that you hate about it or things that you love about it or anything? Has anyone tried any of this and like it?
The card game is awesome. Especially if you have kids. Sydney, I always let her pick the exercises, so sometimes you're like, are you flipping crazy, kid? But, okay.
You're like, why did I let her pick this? Yeah. Another good one is memory. So like taking thick cardboard paper so you can't read through when you write out a marker on the other side. And I make like 20 cards, so 10 exercises. And then if they match, you do them once and take them out of the square. But if they don't match, you have to do both of them and flip them back over until you find out the pairs. Workout pause. Okay. Are you working out right now? One thing Dave got me is he got me the Jenga, which I still have to put the exercises on. We're gonna do workout Jenga, so that's awesome. Put exercises on each thing. It's really cool. I have to bring it in. You guys will see that class one day. One Wednesday, you'll walk in and not know what hit you. Yeah, so it's fun to do these things, right? Okay, so that's basically it. It's pretty simple, but keep this template so you guys can put together workouts. And then anytime you're traveling or you're away from home, you've got this ready to go. You've got a lot of options. I've got boxes full of workouts. I don't know why I write them all the time, but okay, does that work? Good deal. All right, let's hand out some Sari bucks and get you on your way.
They're
Not organized too hard.
You should be able to just grab them. I didn't make my